Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'd like to talk about something that I really didn't want to bring to my channel, but I feel is important to discuss. That is drama. And I'd like to start off by saying that I created this channel to help support independent creators because I want to get good books out there. I want people to see what independent comic book creators are creating, because a lot of amazing work is happening in independent comic books right now. So I don't care what political persuasion anybody is. I'll support their comic book if I believe that it's a good book. So if you have a book and you want me to support it, send me information and I'll look at it. And if I like the project, I'll support it. Now, the drama that I'm bringing today, if you haven't seen by the picture that's currently overlaid on the video, is the case between Richard C. Meyer and Mark Waid. If you don't know who Richard C. Meyer is, he is the operator of the YouTube channel Diversity in Comics. He has also created 2 independent comic books. One is called Jawbreakers, and the other one is Iron Sights. And currently he is involved in a court case with Mark Waid. Now, the court case is about supposedly Mark Waid interfered with Richard's contract with Antarctic Press. Antarctic Press was going to publish Richard's book, and they received correspondence with Mark Waid, after which Antarctic Press decided that they were no longer going to publish Richard C. Meyer's book. And I believe the book was Jawbreakers. Now, the case that Richard is making is that Mark Waid used his influence in comic books to interfere with his contract with Antarctic Press. Now, if we examine Mark Waid's opinion of diversity in comics, it's very, very clear that he hates diversity in comics. And he does not want to see diversity in comics succeed in this industry. He wants him to not be in this industry, and this is all on political beliefs. Richard, to my knowledge, has not actually committed any crimes, has done nothing that should exclude him from comic books other than make insults. Now, you can agree with that statement or not. It is up to you. But if we believe that comics is for everybody, we have to accept that there will be creators that have political views that we don't agree with. That's just how things are. Now, Richard's books do not contain any political agenda in them. There are just comic books, mostly throwbacks to 80s and 90s comic books. So, if you were to disagree with his comic book on a political level, I don't see how that case could be made. But what this court case is about is contract law. Now, if you go and look at Mark Waid's GoFundMe page, which is really interesting, and it's interesting not for how much he has, but it's interesting for 2 reasons. If you read the descriptions on his GoFundMe page, he talks about fighting back against racism and bigotry and all these things. Yet Richard's comic book had nothing to do with politics. This case that he is currently raising money for on GoFundMe has nothing to do with politics. This is contract law. This is whether Mark Waid broke a law and should be punished for it if he interfered with Richard C. Meyer's contract. And nothing about this is in any way put on this GoFundMe. The really interesting thing, though, that I find with Mark Waid's GoFundMe page is if you look at the people who donate to Mark Waid. And these are very, very influential and powerful people within the comics community that seem to have rallied behind Mark Waid in an effort to destroy Richard C. Meyer, an independent comic book creator who is not very wealthy, they seem to be really into the destruction of Richard C. Meyer, not based on the content of his comic book, not based on the validity of the lawsuit. It seems more that they have literally, if we could say, pulled out the torches and decided to burn the witch at the stake. And unfortunately, Richard is the witch in this situation. Now, I will be supporting Richard C. Meyer. I don't agree with his political beliefs. I do believe that his comic book is decent. I've looked at the art. The art by John Malin is amazing. So I will be supporting his GoFundMe. And I hope that you will take the time to look it over, to learn the facts about it. Don't just look at it as a simple case of Richard C. Meyer's an evil person because he has political beliefs that differ from mine. Look at what this case stands for. This case could mean something more important in the future. Do big industry people with a lot of influence in the comics community get to choose what books get published? Do they? Really? This isn't between you and your publisher? I really think that no matter what your political view, you should look at the facts, because it is, as I said, very well documented what was going down between Richard C. Meyer and Mark Waid at the time that this Antarctic press deal was going on. So whether you agree with me or not, I hope that you will look into the facts of the case. Don't believe the hype. Too often we try to sit there and decide who the good guys are and the bad guys are simply based on personal opinion and political opinion. But I don't think that this is the time for that. I think we actually, as people who support independent comic books, we have to look at it as, do the big guy get to sit there and bully the little guy just because they're the little guy in comic books? Now, I hope you'll check out the GoFundMe. I'll leave the link in the description. And if you could like, share, and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. And get the word out about this court case, because I do think it's a very, very important moment in independent comic books and the history of comic books. So you guys have a good day. Bye for now.